Oh yeah, is it Thursday already? Sigourney Weaver is talking Mandalorian and Grogu, revealing the truth behind the scenes about Pedro Pascal on that movie, and claiming that this movie is going to be better than Andor. Pretty high praise. Also, Ahsoka Season 2 has finally got some leaked images, and Boba Fett could be returning, maybe in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, but if not, maybe in Ahsoka Season 2. And to top all that off, Mark Hamill is talking about his time with the sequel trilogy and the return of Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian Season 2 and possibility of seeing him in the future later down the line. And if that's not enough, Chet, if that's not enough, Hondo Ohnaka, voice actor, is talking about a return for the character. We're talking a lot of Mandalorian, Mando-verse time period stuff today, but without further ado, let's dive into all of it. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine Thursday afternoon? So, usually we're all over the place in the timeline, from post-sequels with Starfighter and the Rey movie and all this other stuff with the pre-prequels, with the Dawn of the Jedi, the Rakatan Empire. We're mostly in one spot today, which is kind of nice, but there's still an insane amount of news. From Ahsoka Season 2 to the Mandalorian and Grogu movie to Boba Fett to Hondo Ohnaka, Sigourney Weaver is talking a lot of Star Wars, and I like the sounds of that. So we got a lot to get into today, and as per usual, not a lot of time, but we do have 1 week. 1 week until where did I go? One week until Rebuild the Galaxy Season 2. So we're not really going to be talking about that much today because there is no new trailer and no new news, but it is 1 week from now. So get hyped up for that. But before we dive into any of this new news, we got to start this stream off the only way we know how, by saying hi to everybody in the chat. All right. That guy B, what is up? Rachel, how we doing? Matthew in the house, the fight the faith, sorry. How we doing? John Groom, what is up? Brittany in the house. 50 Thunder, how we doing? Aaron, what is up? Derek in the house. Ron, how we doing? Cleve Morris, what is up? Justin, how we doing? Greg, what is up? Holly, how we doing? Darth Plagueis lives in the building. All right, if I missed you, you know the deal. Just yell at me in the chat. Let's give everybody a nice little...
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Okay, so I think we got to start here with the Sigourney Weaver stuff. So, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is still not for another 8 months, but now we're starting to see a little bit more come out. We're probably going to get a trailer within the next couple months, hopefully before the new year, but only time will tell. But Sigourney Weaver's talking about the movie. We've been talking about the movie for the last 3 weeks or so now, and Star Wars themselves are posting Mando content. They just posted this on YouTube yesterday that is called The Mandalorian and Boba Fett Moments Official Compilation. So it's just Din Djarin and Boba Fett moments. It's an 8-minute and 9-second video of just Boba Fett and Mando. Tell me that's not supposed to get us hyped up for seeing the two of them back on screen next year. I don't know what else to do. Yes, we need more super chats to keep the electric bill going. That's what I'm saying. We did have a super sticker before the live stream, so shout out to Darth Plagueis Lives. I appreciate that. But yes, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, will it have Boba Fett? We'll talk about that later on in the stream, but there's a lot of conversation right now in September of 2025 about the Mandalorian and Grogu movie when it doesn't happen for another 8 months. So let's talk about what Sigourney Weaver had to say. Actually, before we even dive into this Collider article, let's put up a poll in the chat. Let's put up a poll. By the way, if you haven't smashed a freaking like on this stream, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Just, get on that. Okay, let's do this. Are you excited for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Just see where the excitement level is in the chat. And while you're at it, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for this movie? Tell me in the chat. And while you do so, check out this article. So this is an exclusive from Collider, Sigourney Weaver confirms the Mandalorian movie will have Pedro Pascal in it. The Mandalorian, Din Djarin, the actor who plays this character, Pedro Pascal, will be in the movie. Now, that obviously sounds like duh, but it's not really, because we haven't seen Din Djarin's face since the very end of Mando Season 2, and that was in 2020. 5 years ago. We haven't seen Pedro Pascal's face in Star Wars in 5 years. So the fact that he's even, or could even possibly be showing his face in this movie makes things very interesting. So let's take a look. Pedro Pascal's involvement in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie has finally been clarified by one of the biggest stars in the 2026 Star Wars movie. The Mandalorian and Grogu has been set to release on May 22nd, 2026, and will pick up right after the events of the first 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, which are all streaming on Disney Plus right now. One of the stars confirms to have a role in the film is Sigourney Weaver, the sci-fi veteran, most known, probably for Alien, but a lot of different things. She's, of course, now in the Avatar franchise, which is like the biggest thing ever behind Star Wars. But, oh, well, see, this is why I should just keep on reading. Beloved for her roles in Avatar and Alien franchises. Duh. Collider's Steve Weintraub Steve recently caught up with Weaver at the Toronto International Film Festival to chat about a new project, Dust Bunny. Don't know what that is, but sure. They stumbled onto the topic of Star Wars. Oh, just so happened to stumble onto the topic of Star Wars. After briefly going back and forth about whether the Mandalorian and Grogu movie has the chops to stand with Andor, to which Sigourney Weaver had to say, it won't, in it being Andor, it won't be as good as the Mandalorian and Grogu. Just letting you know. So, a little bit of bias here. Sigourney Weaver is in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, but calling this movie, next year's Star Wars return to the big screen, better than Andor, is some pretty high praise. Now, I know immediately you guys are going to be like, of course it's not better than Andor. Andor's a freaking masterpiece, Mike. How is that even possible? Let's not forget how good The Mandalorian is. Let's take our rose-colored glasses off, our recency bias off. The Mandalorian, when it first dropped in 2019 on Disney Plus, was like sliced bread. It's the greatest thing since the wheel was invented. The Mandalorian does not get nearly enough credit for what it did for Disney Plus, but also how good it is, especially those first 2 seasons. So it's not like we're going into uncharted territory next year. I'll get to that super chat one sec. It's not like we're going into a brand new project with characters we've never seen before on the big screen. This is Din Djarin and Grogu, 2 of their most popular characters ever created. So yeah, it might be as good as Andor. Now, Ms. Weaver is not really the best source here because she's in the movie, so she's probably going to say that it's better than Andor. But what are the chances that this movie could be better than Andor? What do we think? I bet she didn't even watch Andor. The interviewer shouldn't have even asked the question. It's very unprofessional. Well, I don't know if she's watched Andor. That's who knows. But what are you going to do? Yeah. Wait, what? She really busted a Thanos and is going to revive Star Wars all by herself? Well, first of all, I don't think Star Wars needs to be revived by any means. But yeah. Star Wars fans are eating good next year? Yeah, they are. Better in some ways for sure, but not in other ways. I get that. It's going to be a lot more Star Wars-y. I guess the one complaint for Andor is that it doesn't have the Force, doesn't have lightsabers, doesn't have that aspect of the Star Wars universe. And of course, we have Grogu, we have the Force, we have that aspect. We have the post-Empire, or remnant of the Empire, with hopefully Grand Admiral Thrawn being involved. We have all that other stuff. the things that people already know and love from The Mandalorian on Disney Plus are coming over to the big screen. So you're going to get to see that next year. So could it be as good as Andor? I mean, it's impossible to say no, because why can't it be? But it's going to be very difficult to accomplish that goal, to be as good as Andor. However, that's not the point of this article. We're not arguing whether it's better than Andor because we haven't seen it yet. We won't see it for another 8 months, so it's impossible to tell. But she goes on. She continues by confirming that it's a different world. Both projects are inside the Star Wars universe. However, they are very, very different. Andor tackles a much heavier themes of political corruption and fascism and all that stuff. And, I mean, to start, Mandalorian's just the spaghetti western. It turns into more of this wider, galaxy-wide story involving Luke Skywalker and the New Republic and all this greater story happening in Star Wars. But it just starts off as a spaghetti western. It's just a bounty hunter doing his thing, you know, just Din Djarin finding Grogu. And those are two very different stories told in the same universe. Just so happens to be told in the same universe, I guess. Before we actually get on, I want to get to that super chat before I forget about it. Because super chats memberships keep the lights on over here. And I appreciate it. Darth Plagueis lives with a very generous $10 holla. My God, that's insanely generous. I appreciate that quite a bit. Says, I've never been more excited for Star Wars than I am for next year. Mando, Ahsoka, and Maul. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I've never been more excited. Ask me the same question in 6 months and see where I'm at. But yeah, next year is a jam-packed year for Star Wars. And those are just the things we know about, by the way. Like, there could be more than that. Maybe a Tales season around the 4th like they usually do, or something else that we don't even know about yet. Could be. But just to have Maul Shadow Lord, Ahsoka Season 2, and the return to theaters for the first time in 6.5 years with the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, I mean, yeah, the hype level is very, very high for many people. It's not like you're getting... It's not like you're getting Solo. Now that's a bad example. I'd say Rogue One too, but that's kind of a bad example as well. It's not like you're getting a very low-level movie. It's hard to say Solo because it didn't make a lot of money, but it's also a spin-off of one of the best characters in Star Wars with Han Solo. It's hard, okay? But it's not like you're getting this year of just random shows. For example, a year where we got The Acolyte last year and Skeleton Crew. The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew I loved personally, but they're nobody characters we've never met before. This is Ahsoka Tano, Anakin Skywalker, Din Djarin, Grogu, Darth frickin' Maul. Like, these are legacy characters, all now coming out in the same year in 2026. It's ridiculous. Like, it's such a crazy year for Star Wars content coming up. And I can't wait, too. But I appreciate the super chat. I really, really do. Super chats, memberships, keep the lights on over here. So I appreciate that. Okay, well, let's get back to this article. Since I've been so rudely interrupted. Steve went on to say, he further highlighted the differences between the shows of Andor and the film like The Mandalorian and Grogu movie, saying the former is dealing with a deadly serious stuff, and the latter is a fun time at the movies. She wasn't too quick to agree with that, closing out by saying, well, let's see, shall we? I'm sure it will be at least that, and it will have Pedro Pascal. It will have Pedro Pascal. So, with that being said, tell me in the chat, do you think Pedro Pascal's face will be seen in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Yes or no? The Mandalorian and Grogu lands on a Friday, according to my calendar. Yeah, well, movies usually release on Fridays, and then they have like the Thursday night preview night type thing, you know? Din Djarin, will he show his face in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? I'm seeing a lot of yeses. 100% yes, definitely yes. It's not definite because we haven't seen the character of Din Djarin's face in 5 years. And not only that, season 3, where we last left him off, he was pretty adamant that he's not going to be showing his face anytime soon. He went to the bathe in the living waters in the caves on Mandalore. Like, he really, really, really is against taking off that helmet. There's no way they pay Pedro Pascal to not show his face. They did. They did that already for Mando Season 3. He doesn't show his face a single time. Yes, in Mando Season 1, you see his face at the end. In Mando Season 2, you see his face twice in the last 2 episodes. But in Season 3, he doesn't show his face a single time, and they paid him for that. It's not just a definite that he's going to be showing his face in this movie. Now, granted, he's a big-time star in Hollywood right now. This is their return to the movie theaters, so you'd probably want to show his face. But how? Story-wise, unless he's dying.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I know. There goes Mike, predicting deaths again. But unless he's dying, like he is in Season 1, and that's the reason he takes off his helmet, or somebody takes it off for him, like a villain of sorts, there is no other reason. Why else would he take his helmet off? Should we pull it? All right, let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Fine. Let's pull it up. I am just not convinced. I'm not at all convinced that he's going to be taking off his helmet in this movie. But if he does, then what's the reason? By the way, 85% of you are excited for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. That's what I like to see. Do you think let's put it this way. Do you think we will see Pedro Pascal face in, oh my God, I can't type today, in the Mando movie? Yes or no? Yes or no? Or he's in private, but why would they show his face at that point? Like, if he's just in a room by himself, what's the purpose in that? Maybe he kisses Bo. Again, I don't think so. Season 3, there was little bit of, breadcrumbs of maybe a relationship happening there. But not too much. They could have went way more into that. Yeah. Mike, did you notice how Maul Shadowlord, the Mandoverse, and Dave Filoni's Tales Anthology series all follow George Lucas's blueprint for the time after the original trilogy? The Tales series does? Maul Shadowlord definitely does, because that's pretty much the whole plot of what George Lucas's sequels wanted to do. The Mandalorian, not so much. It is that post-sequel world, post-original world, but it's not, the same story, Didn't the armorer make Bo take her helmet off, saying that we need to unite? Yes, but that doesn't mean the armorer is going to be taking her helmet off either. The Mandalorians are united, but they still have their different Kree. Like, Din Djarin, the armorer, and those types of Mandalorians are not going to be taking off their helmets anytime soon. That was made very clear in The Mandalorian Season 3. Even though they come together to take over Mandalore again, they're not going to be taking off their helmets. Wasn't there supposed to be a scene in Season 3 where they shared a kiss? I don't think so. I think there was maybe a version of Season 3 where they would go down more of a romantic avenue, but I don't think that ever made it too far. Yeah. I certainly think he'll be taking off his helmet, but I don't know why. Okay. Valid. This is a major reason why... Wait. Oh, this is a major movie, not a Season 3. Of course they will have him show his face. It's not a horrible argument to say, this is a movie, they need Pedro Pascal ammunition, we got to see his face. But there still has to be a reason for that. And there's only a few. He's dying, somebody else takes it off. Maybe there's only 2. Like, that's about it. Because last we saw him, he was very much like, I am not taking it out. Nope. Face never shown again. Wearing helmet forever. Showers are going to be really weird. Yeah. Grogu is too cute to put a helmet on. Therefore, Mando will take his off. That doesn't make any sense. Maybe Bo will just kiss the helmet. There you go. Now we're talking. I just think he's going to die in the movie. You show his face because he's dying. Now, granted, maybe he doesn't die in the movie. Maybe he has a near-death scene where he thinks he's dying, much like season 1. When he has IG-11 take off the mask, it's because he thinks he's going to die. And the only way to save him is to stop the bleeding, and IG can do that. Huh. I don't know. In the weird way of them hyping up this movie with Pedro Pascal, is they're going to be promoting the hell out of him being in this film. Even Sigourney Weaver right here is saying that. We also have Pedro Pascal. People understand how hot he is right now in Hollywood. He's in everything. Right now, I think, currently, unless one of the movies is out of theaters, he's in 3 different movies that are all in theaters right now. Fantastic Four, The Materialist, and the one with Joaquin Phoenix. He's in 3 movies all at the same time in the theaters. He's been in everything, from Marvel to DC to Star Wars to The Last of Us to anything, everything. He's in it. So to take an actor like that, make a movie about his character in Star Wars and not show his face does sound really dumb. But there needs to be an explanation why. Needs to be. Yeah. The armorer needs to upgrade his helmet because he's getting back. Wait, what? Oh, he's getting back missiles and needs a rangefinder. Interesting. Like Boba Fett's rangefinder? Fascinating. I still think that he's going to take a big old L in this movie to whoever, whether it's Grand Admiral Thrawn or the Remnant of the Empire or the Shadow Council, whatever it is. He's going to take a big old L, which maybe pops his helmet off, or he almost dies and has to take his helmet off. And then he has to go call for reinforcements. He has to go call for his good pal Boba Fett or Bo-Katan or Cobb Vanth or anybody. And he needs help. And we talk about Boba Fett and the possibility of him returning because Tamara Morrison, time and time again, is like, hey, Boba Fett hasn't been seen in 3 years, maybe 4 years. Let's bring him back. Yeah, when did the Book of Boba Fett release, Chet? Was it 2021 or 2022? It's been at least 3 years since we've seen Boba Fett. We need him back. And now Star Wars themselves is posting an 8-minute video called The Mandalorian and Boba Fett Moments, full official compilation, showing 8 minutes of greatness of Din Djarin and Boba Fett. Like, this is clearly because they want to hype up the fact that these two are good pals, that these two are hanging out. It's very weird. On the one hand, all the leaks and reports about this movie are that it's going to be this self-contained story. Nobody's going to be involved. It's just Din Djarin, Grogu, Sigourney Weaver, Zeb Orrelios, taking down Stinky the Hutt with Embo being involved. Like, no, that can't possibly be this movie. It can't be. Especially when they're doing stuff like this. Especially when you're comparing it to a show like Andor. Especially when this is supposed to be the beginning of a new trilogy, if it's a success, with Grand Admiral Thrawn being the big new bad, the heir to the Empire. There is no way. All they're doing is hyping this up. Bo-Katan's definitely in it because of what Katie Sackhoff said earlier this year. All lines point to the fact that Lucasfilm, as they always do, are keeping incredible secrets from us. Incredible secrets. Think about The Mandalorian in general. The first season of The Mandalorian, the biggest kept secret of all time is Grogu. Nobody knew he was coming. The big reveal of Grogu, the 50-year-old bounty that Din Djarin's looking for throughout the whole first episode, the big reveal of that being a Yoda species, a baby Yoda, blew up the internet. Because they kept it a secret. He's a main character of the entire season. And they kept it a secret. No marketing, no merchandise, no nothing for Grogu in season 1. So if Lucasfilm can keep that a secret, imagine what they're keeping a secret for the next movie. Their first movie in 7 years. Imagine all the secrets they're keeping. Because they can. They're good at it. Not only do I think Bo-Katan and Boba Fett are going to be in this movie, but they're keeping some other secrets that we haven't a clue. Way over our pay grade. Well over our heads. Up in the clouds. Secrets that we don't even know about. And Sigourney Weaver's just giving us a little bit of a, sneak peek at that. Pedro Pascal will be there, probably see his face, but for why, we don't know. Is he going to die? We don't know. It is called The Mandalorian and Grogu. But clearly, Lucasfilm is keeping secrets. And everything that actors and actresses like Sigourney Weaver have to say about this movie, and the things that they post on their official page, Star Wars YouTube account, is saying a completely different story than all these leaks are saying. But let's finish off this article real quick. So, as she says, Andor is dealing with serious stuff, and the latter's more of a fun time at the movies, which it'll still have some serious stuff, just not so serious as Andor. And as she says, well, let's see, shall we? I'm sure there'll be at least that, and it will have Pedro Pascal. To put this to bed, a long-standing rumor is that Pedro Pascal was not involved, which, by the way, is insane when you look at this image. Pedro Pascal, Mandalorian. Does anybody remember this image? Gotta be a better image than that. Yeah, there we go. No, there's gotta be a better image than that. It's like an ultra 4K image. What are we doing here? Does anybody remember this image? Aha. Fascinating. Okay. Does anybody remember this image? Chat. Give me a 1 into the chat if you remember seeing this image. This is Pedro Pascal. I think maybe like 8 months ago, somewhere around there. In the armor. On set. What are we even talking about here? Of course he's involved in the movie. He's the main character. I know there was a lot of reports that Din Djarin or Pedro Pascal's only involvement in season 3 was that he just came in to do voice work. And maybe that's true. Maybe he was busy doing other stuff, but we don't see his face in that. He doesn't have to be on set. He is just a voiceover character. Same could be said about IG-11. Like, Taika Waititi was on set because he was directing the episode, but he didn't have to be. He's just a voiceover actor. Pedro Pascal in season 3 is just a voiceover actor. However, here he is in the suit on set for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Now, the trailer that we have, the one that was leaked out there, by the way, and I had to take down all those videos that we had. I mean, we were like, yeah, let's just watch it, why not? Yeah, I had to take all that down. But in that trailer that we won't be watching ever again until it's released publicly, in that trailer, we don't see any evidence of him taking off his helmet. We do see him doing all this fun, cool stuff, but this is from the set. This is Pedro Pascal in the armor, and we got this image. People just ignore this, like it doesn't exist. Clearly he's in the movie. Clearly he was on set. Clearly he was involved. He's the main character! Yeah. Mike, when do I think we'll get the first official trailer? Actually, we do have some news on that. I guess that's a perfect segue into it, so why not? So this was the latest and greatest coming from Cryptic 4K Qual. This is a source that has been right about a lot of things Star Wars, mostly run times for episodes. That guy's been very spot on. But Disney is expected to release some big trailers in October and December. Mandalorian and Grogu will likely be released on one of those months. So the reasoning for this is because they have some big movies going into theaters. In the recent big trend has been to attach a trailer to a movie. For example, the Odyssey trailer was attached to Jurassic World, Rebirth, I think it was called. And the trailer for I think it was Avatar. I think it was the third Avatar movie. The third Avatar movie's trailer was attached to Fantastic Four. So it's possible that The Mandalorian's first official trailer is attached to a movie. Now, there's two big Disney movies coming out at the end of this year. One, of course, being Avatar 3. The other one is Tron. Now, I don't know. Does anybody know when the Tron release date is? Can somebody help me out in the chat? So Tron, I don't know when it releases. Could be that October spot that they're talking about. Oh, wrong button. Could be that October spot that they're talking about here. But the December spot is Avatar 3. So I don't know what October 10th. Okay, perfect. So Tron is the October window and December window is Avatar 3. It's highly likely that The Mandalorian's first official trailer, whatever you want to call it, is released along with these movies. Now, let me tell you, I have zero intention of seeing Tron in the movie theaters. I had zero intention of seeing Avatar 3 in the movies because, and this may come to a shock to many of you, I have not seen Avatar 2. I haven't seen Avatar 1 in over a decade. And the Tron movies, I mean, the last Tron movie was, 13 years ago? I can wait. I have no intention on doing that. However, if The Mandalorian and Grogu's trailer comes out before these movies, I will gladly go watch these movies in theaters multiple times. Tron, honestly, giving a reason to go see Tron would be cool. I'm excited. That'd be cool. That'd be great. Avatar, I'd need to do some homework first. Rewatch the first Avatar. Watch the second Avatar for the first time. Yeah, I'd have to do a little bit more research on that. But if they attach the Mandalorian and Grogu movie to one trailer to one of these movies, I think it will help that movie greatly. Not to say that Avatar is not going to make a lot of money anyway, and maybe Tron too, but crazy Star Wars fans like myself will go watch that movie just to see the trailer. Just to see it. Yeah. Master Jedi thinks the Avatar's second trailer will be in October and the Mandalorian will be in December. Interesting. Could be. Nothing beats Star Wars. I have spoken. You have spoken the truth. Tron plus IMAX equals mind blown. It could be. I mean, Tron visually could be really, really cool. Yeah. Do you think it'll be critically acclaimed? Oh, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? I certainly hope so. Because if it's not, then I won't get to go critically acclaimed. And I'll be bummed out. So, I hope so. Yeah. A big movie that releases around Christmas is Wicked. Yeah, but that's not a Disney IP. The Mandalorian and Grogu will be attached to a Disney IP, and that's either Tron or Avatar 3. Yeah. I don't know how much they will get for just people showing up for the trailer. You can't get me into the theaters to watch an actual film. No effing way I'm going for just a trailer. True. But I guess I'm just more crazy than most. Yeah. Will an IMAX filmed movie need an IMAX for the trailer? Huh. I doubt it, but maybe. Like, because The Mandalorian and Grogu is filmed for IMAX. I don't think, obviously, it's going to be released in other movies than just IMAX. It's just going to be the best in IMAX. There's that. But I think it will release in other regular theaters too. Predator is a Disney IP? True. Is there a new Predator movie coming out soon? I don't know if they'd attach it to that. Maybe. When does Predator Badlands come out? Oh, I remember watching the trailer for that, actually, for when I watched Fantastic Four. When does that movie come out? I didn't see Fantastic Four in IMAX, and I still saw the Avatar 3 movie trailer. There you go. November 7th? Wow. So Disney's got Tron in October, Predator in November, and Avatar in December. They got some bangers coming up. That's pretty cool. So there's multiple chances for the Mandalorian and Grogu teaser trailer to be released over the next couple months. What happened? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Which trailer do you think we'll get first, Maul, Shadowlord, or The Mandalorian? I think The Mandalorian, and the reasoning for that is because it's a movie. Like, they do these teaser trailers for movies way far out in advance. When it comes to the animated shows, specifically Tales shows, they don't do the teaser trailers or the official trailer till like a month out. So we might not be getting a Maul trailer for like until maybe next year. It depends on when they want to start marketing that. Yeah. It depends. All right, but with that being said, now that we've debunked this whole thing and Disney's expected to release some big trailers in October and December, when do you think the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer will release? In October, attached to Tron, the new Tron movie, or in December, attached to Avatar 3, or curveball, in November, attached to Predator, which I think is probably the least likely opportunity. What do we think? Honestly, it'd be really cool to be getting a Mando and Grogu trailer next month. But I think the more likely scenario here is December, sadly. So you have to wait a couple more months. But because it's Avatar 3 and it's probably going to make $2 billion anyway, yeah, I think they'll want to do that. Yeah. I really doubt the Mandalorian trailer will increase the box office of those movies. It will increase it by at least one ticket because I'll be going to see it just for the trailer. So, might not be a crazy increase, but it'll be at least a little bit. December? Yeah. I think December is more likely. Yeah. Okay. Let's finish off this article. Let's finish it off. So she says, and we will have Pedro Pascal. This puts to bed the long-standing rumor that Pedro Pascal is not involved in the movie. Not involved in the movie. Not involved in the movie. And confirms that Fantastic Four First Step star will be back in 2026's Star Wars Extravaganza. I like that. Another Star Wars movie moving forward quickly. Oh, they got a little bit of Starfighter stuff here? Oh, yeah. Mandalorian and Grogu is not the only Star Wars movie coming to theaters in the next few years. Sean Levy will bring Starfighter to the big screen on May 28th, 2027. The adventure set in the galaxy far, far away stars Ryan Gosling and Mia Goth alongside a host of other talent, including Amy Adams, Matt Smith, Aaron Pierre, and more. Plot details on the film are being kept under wraps as per usual, and it's reportedly going to be a new story with new characters unconnected to the Skywalker saga. Oh, okay, that's it. So there you have it. Sigourney Weaver talking that the Mandalorian and Grogu movie will not only be better than Andor, but also Pedro Pascal will be in the movie. The big question is, will he show his face? Holy crap, the poll in the chat right now is 75% of you saying yes, he will show his face in the movie. Okay. I hope 75% of you understand that means there's a pretty big likelihood that he dies. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. You said it, not me. You said it, not me. Okay. But Disney released the first Avatar trailer in July. So 5 months before the movie's release. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie trailer in December would make more sense because that's 5 months before the movie releases. There you go. The math is mathing. We have done it. We've cracked the code. We've cracked the code. So, yeah, it'd be about 5 or 6 months because end of May. I'm guessing early December. Yeah, 5 or 6 months. So, if the Avatar trailer released in July, that's 5 months before December. It would be the same math. Math is mathing. Done. Boom. Got it. Got it. You won't die if they want to make a trilogy, Mike. Okay, let me preface that for a second. This Mando trilogy is only being called a Mando trilogy because it's starting with the Mandalorian and Grogu. This trilogy is going to be about Grand Admiral Thrawn. Excuse me. It's going to be about Grand Admiral Thrawn. It's going to be about the remnant of the Empire, heir to the Empire, how bad the New Republic is, probably the rise of the First Order. Din Djarin will play a big role in that, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the case that he's in all 3 movies. A big catalyst for this trilogy could be the death of his character. Now, it might throw off a lot of fans because they love the character of Din Djarin and then he dies. Screen time-wise, Din Djarin's got to be up there for most screen time in Star Wars. He's got 3 seasons of a television show. He's in the Book of Boba Fett for a lot of it, and now he's getting a movie. He's got to be up there for most screen time in any Star Wars content. Obviously, because the animated shows, Anakin, Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Padme, like those are untouchables. But Din Djarin's got to be up there. Top 20 easily. Probably even top 10. Did I say not necessarily? Yeah, what do you mean? Is there something wrong with that? Do you not like celery or something? God. What's wrong with you? Okay. Cassian too. Yeah, Cassian's got a lot of runtime because Andor has 2 seasons and he's in Rogue One and it's 24 episodes. Now, I would say Din Djarin probably has more screen time per episode than Cassian Andor does, though. Because Andor, although it's called Andor, focuses on other characters. Like Cassian's, there's some episodes where Cassian's barely in the episode. The Mandalorian, Din Djarin's pretty much in every single scene. Yeah. Grogu will definitely go to the dark side if Din dies. Yeah, but wouldn't that be so cool? Like, wouldn't that be awesome? Because you have Yoda already. You've done Yoda. You've done it. We want, like, obviously already Grogu has said no to the Jedi way. He's left Luke and he's become a Mandalorian. But the last time we saw these 2 characters, there was this big happy ending. They defeated Moff Gideon. They reclaimed Mandalore. Din Djarin even adopted Grogu. His name is now Din Grogu. There needs to be a big old wrench thrown in the happiness parade happening at the end of Mando Season 3. I sound like a horrible human being right now. I'm just thinking about the betterment of the story, okay? And you guys just want it to be all happiness all the time and sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes Din Djarin needs to die to further the story. Sometimes you need something to get behind because Grand Admiral Thrawn could be the reason that Din Djarin dies, bringing all the people together, Boba Fett, Bo-Katan, Cobb Vanth, Ahsoka Tano, the Rebels crew, Carson, Teva, all the friends he made along the way. Grogu could turn to the dark side. How cool would that be? You're going to sit here and tell me that Grogu turned to the dark side's not cool? Dark side Grogu's not cool? Grogu becomes Snoke? Oh my.
Incorrect.
Sorry, I think I might have raised my voice there. I apologize. Got a little excited. I just think you guys aren't thinking. For the betterment of the story, for the greatness of a trilogy, think of it this way. A fan favorite character goes by the name of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Obi-Wan, in A New Hope, guess what he does? He dies. I think they could use Din Djarin right now as that Obi-Wan Kenobi type character, furthering Grogu's development, but bringing together all these people to take down Grand Admiral Thrawn on the backs of becoming the Avengers to avenge Din Djarin's death. Obi-Wan's death is a very meaningful one because he becomes more powerful after death. I don't think Din Djarin's going to become a Force Ghost. No. But he could become more powerful after death because they can take down Thrawn if they work together. The New Republic is not going to take down Thrawn. Let's make that clear. It's not going to happen. But if all these friends of Din Djarin come together because of the death of their friend to take down the enemy, Grand Admiral Thrawn, it could work. It could work. And this brings in one of my favorite characters. And shout out to Derek if you're still here. Cal Kestis. This could be the perfect way to introduce Cal Kestis into this story. Din Djarin's friends with a lot of people. None of them, as far as we're aware, are Cal Kestis. However, in the second Jedi game, Jedi Survivor, you work as a bounty hunter for a little bit of time. Or I guess, you are technically a bounty hunter, but you're hunting down other bounty hunters. You're a bounty hunter for the bounty hunters. You come across some familiar faces. Spoiler alert, Boba Fett. The game's been out for like 2 years, guys. Come on. Boba Fett is in that game. And you come across some other bounty hunters. What if in the third Cal Kestis game, whatever it's going to be called, the Jedi blank, whatever, you come across a bounty hunter by the name of Din Djarin. This would happen before the events of The Mandalorian. It would have you, maybe original trilogy time period, but wherever. You come across a pre-Grogu Din Djarin. You become friends. You hang out. You have a few, a nice Jawa juice, whatever. You just hang out with Din Djarin. It could be the catalyst, a death of the character, could be the catalyst to bring a Cal Kestis level character to live action into the story. Be like, oh, I heard my good pal Din Djarin died. Let's all be friends and take down Grand Admiral Thrawn. Seer versus Vader was peak. You can say that again. You can say that again. But I think you all just love Din Djarin so much. And don't get me wrong, I do too. Think of all the content we already have with that character. 3 seasons in a movie is more than 99.9% of Star Wars characters will ever get. Unless your last name's Skywalker. But even still. Oh no. I'm getting texts about this, I think. Unless your last name's Skywalker, Din Djarin's got so much screen time. Might be time for him to go. But with that being said, tell me in the chat, do you think Din Djarin will die in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Or do you think that they'll play it safe and they'll keep him around for a while? Tell me in the chat. He makes them more money. True. Killing Din Djarin is not the best way to sell more Din Djarin toys. It's not the best way to sell more tickets to the Din Djarin movie. However, think about Din Djarin's story. In season 1, he loses that awesome, cool, evaporating blaster. In season 2, he loses his Razor Crest. Seemingly, he's going to be losing, and loses Grogu too. Seemingly, he's going to be losing his N1 Starfighter because he gets a new Razor Crest back. He tends to lose a lot of things. Every single season of the show ends with him losing something. What if the movie just ends with him losing his life? Here's the deal. It's going to go one of two ways. Din Djarin is not going to die in the movie next year, and you guys can be like, "Ha, Mike, you're an idiot. I told you he's not going to die." I'm going to be like, "Okay, fine. You just don't have to hurt my feelings." Or he does die, and I'm the only crazy guy who was sitting here saying he was going to die. And then I look like a genius, and then Lucasfilm calls me, and they're like, "How did you know that?" And I'm like, I just know things. And then, I get the medal from the end of A New Hope, and they send me a bunch of blue milk, and it's all great. And then we live happily ever after, except for Din Djarin. But where were we? Yeah, Star Wars. As long as he rides the Mythosaur first. See, you're on board. See? I need a Mando baby from Bo and Din? Okay, they can do that first. That can happen beforehand. Mike's delusions of grandeur. Hey, you know what? Maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm not. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. You know what you guys can't do is tell me that 100% fact Din Djarin won't die. You can't tell me that. You haven't seen the movie. I haven't seen the movie. I'm just the only one who has the guts to make such a bold claim that would make the story better. See, if I was ever in a boardroom at Disney, this is why Lucasfilm would never hire me. I'd be sitting in the back going, "Kill him! You know that great character? Kill him off! You know what'd be great in this storyline? Kill the main character! Nobody would see it coming. Hey, Mike, you got any ideas today? Kill the main character! Nobody would see it coming. Mike, we're thinking about doing a Grogu show. Kill him off! Kill him now!" They'd make me a throne, and I'd be like Palpatine. I'd be like, "Do it." I'd be like, "You know what? Just do it." I'd get a Nike sponsorship because I'd be saying "just do it" so much. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Kill off the main character. Oh my God, here we go. Ron with the very generous $10 holla says you make a good point. Oh, how the turntables. Oh, what a glorious day. I appreciate that, Ron. I really, really do. Should we pull it up? Should we pull it up, Jet? Should we pull it up? So 74% of you guys, it's 3, I guess. 73% of you guys say you do think that we'll see Pedro Pascal's face in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Let's see how many of you think that we're seeing it because he dies. Because there's only a few reasons as to why he would ever take that mask off, and one of them would be he dies. Let's pull it up. Do you think Din Djarin will die in the Mando and Grogu movie? Yes or no? You guys act like nobody important has ever died in Star Wars before. You guys act like Obi-Wan doesn't die in A New Hope. You act like Han Solo doesn't die in The Force Awakens. You don't act like Qui-Gon Jinn didn't die in... Oh my God! You act like every first movie of a trilogy doesn't start with the death of a very important character. Han Solo, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's like poetry. It rhymes! I can't wait for 8 months from now till I can see whether I'm right or I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, whatever. But if I'm right, ooh, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. Disney needs their dependable moneymakers right now. Creatively aside, it would be a crazy business decision. Aaron, I agree with you. They killed Han Solo. The first thing that Disney did when they got the company was killed Han Solo. Harrison Ford. They could have had Harrison penned in for 3 movies, but no, they killed him off in the first one. You think they want to keep characters alive? Rogue One is chock full of incredible characters. They killed them all. They killed every last one of them. People think of Disney and they think they don't have the guts to kill off a main character like that. They've done it time and time and time again since they bought the company. Main characters, side characters, they're killing everybody. Queel, season 1, dead. I have spoken. I have spoken. Harrison asked for it, though. Harrison's been asking to die since 1978. 9? 80? Since the early 1900s. He's been asking to die since the character of Han Solo was created. Just say no. Just keep him coming back for more. Grogu is the real moneymaker, not Din Djarin. Exactly, Peter. Exactly. I'm not saying Grogu's gonna die. Disney killed Bambi's mother. Exactly! Oh, I am so getting all of you guys on my side today. Here we go. Look at this. Look at this. I'll owe you a super chat in May if you're right. Oh, it's on. Yes. Think of all the characters. Oh my God, the Acolyte. The Acolyte. You get introduced to all these characters. Literally every single one of them, except for the Stranger and May and Osha, die. They all die. They brought in this loaded cast. Carrie-Anne Moss, the guy from Squid Games, the girl from Logan. Daphne Keene's her name. Couldn't think of it. And they killed them all. But for some reason, Din Djarin can't die. Some reason you guys are telling me that Din Djarin is better than all of them. He's better than Han Solo. He's better than Luke Skywalker, Leia, Cassian Andor, Jyn Erso, Master Soul. Let him live. They killed off Cad Bane. They brought Cad Bane to live action and killed him off in the first freaking scene. Oh my God. Oh, I'm so worked up today. I don't know what it is. You guys got me hyped up today. Whew. Cad Bane, great pull. Cad Bane isn't dead. True. I mean that. Yeah. Yeah. Mando isn't going to die. Beskar's great plot armor. True. But Beskar's been great plot armor now for 5 years. 6 years, actually. I think the plot armor is time to come to an end. Whew. See, whenever I bring up the fact that Din Djarin's going to die in this movie, you all give me a lot of crap. But today I feel like, and then when you do that, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. They wouldn't probably kill off Din Djarin. But today, you guys all made some great points. I think it's going to happen now more than ever. I think it's actually on brand for what Disney Star Wars has been doing since 2015 to do this. It's actually on brand for what Star Wars has been doing since 1977 to do this. Interesting. I don't think that's water in Mike's cup. I don't know how to prove to you that it's water. Here, we'll do this. This is going to end horribly. Should I do it anyway? I feel like I've already committed. Let's see. If I dump water on my face right now, it'd be devastating. But you know what? Things I do for you guys. Oh, yeah. And now it's empty. Can I get some good cups follow orders in the chat, please? Bumpa. Should I do it again? damn it. I am soaked. It's on my chair. It's on my shorts. I got a napkin down. Oh, I do got a napkin down here. Let's go. Ah. There was so much water there. Okay. I think I made my point. It's clear tequila. Okay. It's either water or tequila. You make up your mind. Whatever you want it to be. As long as it doesn't get on the electronics, true. Do not hit the microphone. So I'll just be a little wet for the rest of the stream. What are you going to do? It's raining wherever Vader is walking his dog. You know? You need Mando with Grogu because Grogu doesn't speak. They come as a pair. You can't kill off one of them. They could make Grogu speak. They could make Grogu speak some words, and then you could kill him off. You know? I have to take my shirt off? Okay, let's not do that. No. Let's not do that. Okay. Moving on. So Sigourney Weaver confirms Pedro Pascal will be in the movie, and it will be better than Andor, which is pretty high praise. But I think we did have one more Mando thing. Oh, and the trailer might come out in either October or December due to the new reports. I think there was one more Mando thing I wanted to get to. Oh, Mark Hamill. Okay. So Mark Hamill is talking about his return to Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian Season 2. So this is from this article from The Hollywood Reporter. They talk about a lot of things because he's promoting his new movie called The Long Walk. It's a movie based off of a Stephen King novel. But of course, as per usual, whenever you interview Mark Hamill, the topic of Star Wars just happens to come up. Let's see if I can find this. Yeah, Star Wars, okay. But The Mandalorian specifically. That's what I'm looking for. Here we go. Aha, found it. So, this is coming from Hollywood Reporter. Actually, let's zoom in on this a little bit. Let's zoom in. Much better. All right. The interviewer asked this, I think. Yeah, it should be easier for you to contemplate than it would be for most because there was already a half measure. Apologies. Another random Breaking Bad reference. Some de-aged versions of Luke Skywalker. Okay, so what was the conversation before this? Oh, here we go. What do you think of an idea of Lucasfilm might continue making the AI Luke Skywalker in products? I don't really like the usage of AI there. Deep fake technology. Yes, they're using probably AI to help make that technology, but Mark Hamill is still there under the mask, and the other actor, who I can't think of his name, is also there under the mask to make the performance. This isn't a AI performance. This is actual actors making it happen. Okay. But they're asking whether there'll be more deepfake Luke Skywalker with in products with interesting realism even after you're gone. Oh, interesting. This is the question of even after you're gone, because you can say that you're done with the character, but it's a bit like the Breaking Bad line, "We're done when I say we're done." So here's what he had to say about this. What you're asking is so hard to contemplate. Are we going to have something in our wills commenting on that? Like, I don't want this to be done. You probably will, honestly. As an actor, you probably will have to have that from now on. I have trouble with trying to deal with the jobs that I do have than to start speculating about the future. There's so many questions about AI that haven't been answered. So we'll see how it plays out. So that's the first prefacing question. He doesn't really answer if he'll be back as Luke at all. But then he goes on to say, talk about The Mandalorian. And this is why he did it. The reason I did The Mandalorian was that Luke had a beginning and an end. There was no middle. This is the argument we've been having about Luke Skywalker for years now. The fact that we need more Luke in the middle. Because whether you like the sequels or you don't, whether you like the Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi or you don't, that's still just the end of his story. We don't know how he got there. We don't know. That's like seeing Vader, saying that Vader is a pure evil character in A New Hope, and that's it, and he has zero redeeming qualities. He has zero light side in him, and he'll never be good ever again. He was never good before because you haven't seen what happened before. You don't know that he was Anakin once. He was a very good guy, actually probably the best guy, and then he turns to the dark side. You don't have that yet. But you don't have the middle. It was like making a trilogy about James Bond as a young boy who first became aware of the Secret Service and wanted to be a part of it. 2 parts of him training to be an agent. Part 2, sorry, being him training to be an agent. Part 3 is earning his license to kill, and then the end. That's it. No, From Russia with Love, Dr. No, or Goldfinger. Dr. No? Is that what it's called? I don't know. You never got to see Luke as a master Jedi at the peak of his powers. This is what we want to see. That's what The Mandalorian gave us a sneak peek at, but we want more. He was the most idealistic character in that series. He was someone who would take adversity and double down and come back and counter his setbacks. He saw Vader, and even though he was one of the most evil beings in the galaxy, saw that there was still good in him. We didn't see any of that in the sequel trilogy. So when I got the chance, I said, geez, this is wonderful. I think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, boy, do they get Star Wars. I say it again. I think Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, boy, do they get Star Wars. They get it. They are speaking the same language that George did in a way that I questioned in the sequels. This right here, this just says it all. I mean, you got Mark Hamill, the guy who worked with George Lucas and has worked with all these other creatives on Star Wars, and he's saying that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are the guys who get it. They're speaking the same language that George did. Now, Dave Filoni, of course, is the apprentice to George Lucas. We all know that. But to hear that from Mark Hamill is still music to my ears. And the reason why this Mandoverse, whatever it ends up being, trilogy, not trilogy, whatever, it's in good hands. But this is why he came back, because Luke Skywalker's character didn't have a middle. Now, that middle was sort of teased with the hallway scene in Mando Season 2 and all that greatness, but we didn't really get full Luke Skywalker, master of his own Jedi temple and training all these younglings. We didn't get any of that. We got little snippets of it in the book of Boba Fett when he's building his Jedi temple, but he doesn't have any apprentices yet. So whether it's an animated show or in live action, maybe in this trilogy we get a little bit more Luke. That'd be pretty cool. But there's that. You found the Easter egg? Who found it? Kyler found it? What is it? What is it? Okay, but while you say that, that's why he came back to Luke, and that's why it works so well, because Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. So he doesn't really go on to say, sadly, the interviewer doesn't ask him if he'll come back to play Luke at any time. But even if he doesn't, you can continue Luke's story in animation or anywhere else. Yes, the Lego Ben Kenobi. It's hard to see because the chat is in the way, but yes, there is a Lego Ben Kenobi sitting in the visor thing on Boba Fett's helmet. Yeah, that's pretty cool too. All right, but that's the Luke Skywalker Mando stuff. Mark Hamill talking about it, which is pretty cool. And then the last Mando stuff I want to talk about before we move on to Hondo Ohnaka is Boba Fett. So yesterday, as many of you pointed out in the Discord, if you guys are not yet in the Discord, there's a link in the description below to a Discord called The People Who Love Star Wars. Go join me. If you guys are not yet in there, as many of you pointed out, there was this Mando and Boba Fett compilation video posted yesterday. It's 8 minutes. We can watch some of it. We won't watch all of it probably, but it's 8 minutes of Din Djarin and Boba Fett. And while we watch a little bit of this, tell me in the chat, do you think that Boba Fett will be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie? Yes or no? Let's see. This honestly just makes me want to watch Mando Season 2 again, but yeah.
I'm here for the armor.
If you want my armor, you'll have to peel it off my dead body.
I don't want your armor. I want my armor. That you got from Cobb Vanth back on Tatooine. It belongs to me.
Are you Mandalorian?
I'm a simple man making his way through the galaxy. Like my father before me.
Did you take the creed?
I give my allegiance to no one.
The Beskar belongs to the Mandalorians. It was looted from us during the Purge.
The armor was my father's. Now it's mine.
Not Fennec Shand using Din Djarin as a human shield.
I want you to take a look at something. My chain code has been encoded in this armor for 25 years. You see, this is me, Boba Fett. This is my father, Jango Fett.
Your father was a foundling.
Yes. He even fought in the Mandalorian civil wars.
Then that armor belongs to you.
I appreciate its return.
All right, we don't have to watch this whole thing, but it's got me hyped up. We need more Boba and Din together. The two of them, pretty awesome. But as we know, this goes on to have Boba Fett, and I'm sure it has the epic fight. Yeah. Goes on to have them fighting on Tatooine. Side by side.
They just keep coming.
So the two of them have had some pretty good history together. And now Boba Fett is in charge on Tatooine, and he's got the Vespa gang, and he's got Chrysanthemum, and he's got Fennec Shand still all at his side. If Din Djarin needs any help, if he goes toe-to-toe with a threat that he can't conquer in this movie, whether it's the Remnant of the Empire, Grand Admiral Thrawn, or whatever, he's going to go to Boba for help. Like, that's just what's going to happen. So them posting this video clearly leads me to believe that he'll be in the movie. However, tell me in the chat, do you think Boba Fett will be in here? Because the rumors and the speculation are saying, no, he won't be in there. However, I think there's no world we live in where Boba Fett and Din Djarin don't team up in this movie. For normie fans, Boba Fett's return was awesome in The Mandalorian Season 2. It was. But not everybody watched that. Not everybody watches the Disney Plus shows. So for the people who only watch the movies, Boba Fett's return in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie would be like, what's going on? It would need some sort of explanation, obviously. In the movie, I'm sure they would do it. But they haven't seen him since 1983, where he fell into the Sarlacc pit and presumably died. But that's not the case, because clearly he's still alive. So tell me in the chat, do you think he'll be in there? Actually, let's pull this up. By the way, 30% of you agree with me that Din Djarin will die in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Just saying. 70% disagree, but 30% agree. Okay. Do you think Boba Fett will be in the Mando and Grogu movie? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yeah. As long as the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, Filoni will pack everything with a lot of Easter eggs. Yeah, but that's not really an Easter egg. This is just Boba Fett being in there. straight up, you know. That's not really an Easter egg type deal. I just picked yes because I think it would be cool. All right, interesting. We need Fennec back too. Yeah. Well, the argument would be that he's not in this movie, but he could be in the next one. Could be in Dave Filoni's movie. Because this might just be the setup to a whole nother story. As we talked about last stream, Disney wants, or Lucasfilm wants so badly for this to be a trilogy because they probably already have the whole story played out. But Disney's saying no, not until we see the success of the first movie. So I'm assuming that this first movie is going to end on quite the cliffhanger. Maybe not Luke Skywalker on Arc 2 level Force Awakens cliffhanger, but probably like Acolyte cliffhanger. Like setting up Thrawn, like they set up Plagueis, setting up more story, like that sort of cliffhanger where people will just demand another episode and the trilogy will hopefully come anyway because it's going to be a huge success. But I think Boba Fett could be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, but he'll definitely be in the trilogy as a whole. Tamara Morrison, the actor who plays Boba Fett, has been very vocal about wanting to come back to Star Wars. Very vocal about wanting to play Boba Fett more, even play clones, like play Rex. That's the other big thing. Boba Fett could be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Captain Rex could be in Ahsoka Season 2. He'll be a lot older because of the aging, accelerated aging of the clones. But somebody brought up Dave Filoni before. Dave Filoni always brings those characters back. He brought back Rex in Rebels. If Rex is still alive in the galaxy at this point, he'll be there. He'll be there. What if Grogu dies? Grogu's definitely not going to die because, well, the opportunity is too big. With Din Djarin, it's not. Grogu can live for the next 900 years, and you can sell Grogu toys till the cows come home. It's just not going to happen. Yeah. I didn't think so before this video was posted, and now it seems more likely. It is very weird. On a random Wednesday in September, they post a Din Djarin or Mando and Boba Fett compilation. Best moments. It's weird. It's really weird. It's like they're slowly but surely, and don't call me Shirley, slowly but surely ramping up for this movie. And it's obviously still 8 months away, but they're getting geared up for a trailer. Now, will Boba Fett be in the trailer? Probably not, but it'd be kind of cool if they teased at him being in it. I'd be down for that. Yeah. Where's Commander Cody? I don't know. Cody goes AWOL in the Bad Batch, and then we never see him again. So hopefully that'll be answered eventually. Yeah. Yeah. Mike, what's your favorite music from Star Wars? Like favorite soundtrack? I mean, you got to go. The Force theme, of course, classic. Duel of the Fates. I mean, come on. Honestly, though, I love Across the Stars, but the two that get me is the Force theme when Luke's looking at the binary stars, and it I just put the volume up to 1,000, as loud as my TV can go, and it just one trumpet, and then the whole band comes in. And the other one that's like that is, I think it might be called Yoda's theme. I'm not too sure, but on Dagobah when he pulls the X-wing out of the swamp, that is number one for me. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I don't know why, but just the build-up, literally as loud as any speaker can go, is not loud enough. It needs to be louder for me. But yeah, sorry, a little off topic, but still on the topic of Star Wars, I suppose. I think Boba Fett will show up about halfway through the movie. Okay, interesting. Need more men in backup type situation. That's why I think he could be in the next movie. That's why I think he might not be in this movie, is because Din might take a loss in this movie, but he might not need backup until the next. You know? Yeah. Maybe the next Tales of the Blank could be about Cody and Omega after the Bad Batch. Oh, that would be awesome. But what would you call that? Tales of the Clones? I guess, because Omega's a clone. I like that. Tales of the Clones, Cody and Omega. Sign me up. Sign me up. Across the Stars just hits different. It really does. I mean, it's like the perfect love song, even though it's a Star Wars soundtrack. Yeah. Yeah, Tales of the Clones would be awesome. I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that. All right, let's switch gears a little bit here. It's still on the Mando-verse wavelength, but it's a completely different character that I don't think... I take it back. I think he'll definitely be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. So, hear me out. Hondo Ohnaka. So here's what happened first. This is from the direct. Star Wars actor confirms return to this fan favorite Clone Wars character. Exclusive. Take a look at this. Apparently, a particular popular Star Wars character is not done yet. The voice behind the familiar face of the Clone Wars confirmed his fan favorite rogue will return in the Star Wars universe, possibly sooner than fans expected. You know what's really funny about all these articles to me? I know whoever wrote this article and writes all articles has to do this to take up words and get people hooked and all that stuff. You could have just said, Star Wars character Hondo Ohnaka is not done yet. This Clone Wars character, this fan favorite Clone Wars character, this fan favorite Clone Wars pirate will return to the Star Wars universe. Hopefully soon. Like this paragraph I could turn to 3 sentences. But I guess it's more fun this way. When promoting Andrea's Deja, I don't know, 30 years of Disney's villains at San Diego Comic-Con 2025, legendary voice actor Jim Cummings confirmed that Hondo Ohnaka is returning to the screen. In chatting exclusively with the direct, Cummings told fans to say, stay tuned. Interesting. As the self-serving yet hilarious Weequay pirate, who was first introduced in the Clone Wars, has more to do in Lucasfilm's upcoming Star Wars slate. Now, before we even get into this, the big thing is next year, on the same day as the release date of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is May 22nd, 2026, the ride at Disney, and I'm blanking on what the name of the ride is now. Rise of the Resistance? No, the other one. The Smuggler's Run. The Smuggler's Run is getting an update to have Mando missions. So you're going with Din Djarin and Grogu on these missions that are supposed to take place right off screen in the movie. And the guide in this Smuggler's Run ride at Disney is Hondo Ohnaka. So is Hondo going to be in the movie? Is the Millennium Falcon going to be in the movie? Because you're flying in the Millennium Falcon. Those are the questions that need answered. However, the events of that ride take place right alongside the events of this movie. So Hondo Ohnaka might just be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. But let's continue. When asked whether Hondo might appear in Maul Shadow Lord, a sequel to Lucasfilm's animated series The Clone Wars, Jim Cummings winked, while saying, I think you're going to have to stay tuned because Hondo isn't done yet. Hang on, I didn't even think of this. He might not just be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie for the reasons I just explained, but he might be in Maul Shadow Lord because he's gone toe-to-toe, or face-to-face, I guess, with Maul and Savage multiple times. Like, he's in the Clone Wars all over the place, helping out the Jedi, going against the Jedi, helping out the Sith and Separatists, going against the Sith and Separatists. But we see him and Maul on the same screen. So there's some sort of relationship there. He could technically be, especially because the underworld is being explored so much in this Maul Shadow Lord series, he could technically be in that show. We could be getting a lot of Hondo Ohnaka moving forward. We wanted him to be in Skeleton Crew, but now he might be in Mandalorian and Grogu and in Maul Shadow Lord. That'd be pretty cool. But tell me what you think in the chat. Do you think he'll be in Maul Shadow Lord? But he says, I think you're going to have to stay tuned. He didn't say yes or no because Hondo is not done yet. Cummings went on to share that what he loved about the lovable rogue, admitting that he's one of his favorites, as he said this. He's one of my favorites because he is a lovable rogue. Whoa, crazy. You could probably actually trust him. He looks out for Ezra in Rebels, true. And he does look out for the younglings, as they call them, sorry. And he wouldn't do anything to harm anybody. I don't know about that. But I wouldn't want to play cards with him. True. So in the Clone Wars, he is a very just straight up pirate. And then he shows a softer side of him when he does help the younglings in the episode with Ahsoka and other places. And then in Rebels, he does help Ezra. But by the time of the sequel trilogy, as we see because of the ride at Disney, he has joined the Resistance. He's helping out with the Resistance. So he does have this character arc where he starts out as a bad guy, bad pirate, and eventually over time, slowly, over 40, 50 years, he becomes a good guy, joins the Resistance, helps out the good guys. Could be. Imagine Maul kills Hondo. Well, that's impossible because Hondo is at least alive past the Maul series. So that's impossible. But in the Clone Wars, Hondo Ohnaka crossed paths with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker when he kidnapped Count Dooku. He also made enemies, such as when Darth Maul attempted to gain control of Hondo's brigands? Sure. He then reappeared in Star Wars Rebels, where, as Cummings explained, he looked out for Ezra Bridger and proved to be a friend. He did turn on him once or twice. But even though his morals and his alliances can be questionable. So, which new project will he feature in? Well, Maul Shadow Lord is the next animated series. Could be. That's a pretty good one. But, however, it's worth noting that Cummings mentioned Ezra Bridger as a character. So Ahsoka Season 2 now is put on the table. Honestly, the character of Hondo could show up in anything at this point because he has that relationship with Ezra in the Ghost crew. So he could be in Ahsoka Season 2. He has the fact that he's going to be in a Mandalorian and Grogu ride at Disney. So he could be connected to the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. He has the fact that he has a relationship with Maul. Not a good one, but still a relationship. And that show comes out next year, too. He could be in any of the 3 shows and movies that we know about that come out next year. Hondo could be anywhere. So with that being said, what do we think? Where do you think Hondo Ohnaka will show up next? I think we got to pull this up because there are 3 very, very viable options. Very viable. So let's see. By the way, 80% of you, 80, the biggest poll of the day by far, 80% think that Boba Fett will be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And I agree with you, but that's still very high. Okay. Where will Hondo show up next? Let's go Maul, Shadow Lord. Let's go The Mandalorian and Grogu. And let's go Ahsoka Season 2. Oh, damn it. I just posted that by accident. No! I gotta delete it. Hang on. Where will Hondo Ohnaka show up next? Will it be in Maul? I'm not writing out Shadow Lord anymore. Will it be in The Mandalorian and Grogu? Or will it be in Ahsoka Season 2? You tell me. Any of them are honestly viable options, but live action Hondo would be awesome. Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. Zima, what's up? How we doing?
Hello there.
I honestly think the most likely one here, though, would be Ahsoka Season 2, just because of his relationship to Ezra in the Ghost crew. The fact that we know that he works with the Resistance and probably the New Republic before that. The Mandalorian and Grogu also makes sense because of the ride. Maybe he's introduced in The Mandalorian and Grogu, and then he's also in maybe only for a couple seconds on screen, and then he's also in Ahsoka Season 2. Who cares? Oh. Me? I care. I could see him working with the kids from Skeleton Crew. I could see that too. A very pirate-heavy show. But that was what was weird. He wasn't in Skeleton Crew. His ship was, but he wasn't, which was very strange. If Skeleton Crew got a Season 2, then he'd be in that. Well, maybe if they set him up in Ahsoka Season 2, they could set up a Season 2 of Skeleton Crew. Nerds? Yeah. You clicked on a live stream that from a channel called A Guy Who Loves Star Wars, talking about Sigourney Weaver in Mando and Grogu, and Boba Fett and Hondo Ohnaka in Ahsoka Season 2, and you expected there to not be nerds here? A little strange. Welcome to the people who love Star Wars. We all care. There you go. He was in Rebels, just saying. Exactly. So I think he has that connection to the Rebels crew, seeming the most likely would be Ahsoka Season 2. Yeah, no? Maybe all three? He could be in all three. Like I said, he could be in Mandalorian and Grogu for like a second, and then establish him in live action for him to show up again in Ahsoka Season 2. Like Zeb. Zeb is going to be in Mando, but he's also going to be in Ahsoka Season 2. Those two projects next year are going to be very connected because they take place seemingly one after the next. Yeah. Yeah. Mike, do you have a Mount Rushmore of YouTubers? No. No. Actually, yeah. Sure. I'll give you my Mount Rushmore. You know what? No, because I don't want to leave anybody off. I don't want to leave anybody off. Yeah. When did being a nerd become a bad thing anyway? Did it become a bad thing? I must have missed that. Okay. Yeah, okay. But with that being said, tell me when you think he'll show up. By the way, Maul is winning right now. 56% of you guys say Maul. Shadow Lord is where we'll first see him. Now, before I almost forgot that we had to get to this because this was probably the most important thing I want to talk about today, and I almost forgot. Ahsoka Season 2 leaks. So we got a first actual leaked image from the set of Ahsoka Season 2. And let's just say, well, it's nothing too crazy, but it's still pretty crazy. So the leaked image is this. Now, at first glance, you're like, well, what is even going on here? What's happening? I don't know what's going on. It's some sort of fight. It doesn't look like it's in space because you can see almost like atmosphere over there, like a blue sky. But this does look like a big old ship. Maybe some type of Star Destroyer or something along those lines. And then there's a ship in front of it that's being destroyed. Not quite. It looks like a TIE fighter. Can you see? The chat's kind of in the way. If you drag it all the way over here. Yeah, you can see the TIE fighter. This is the center of it where the guy is. And then this is one of the wings on the left. The right wing would be cut off. So it would be over here. So there's an X-wing. A TIE fighter, sorry. And then the ship behind it, as people are saying in the chat, is an E-wing. The E-wings were seen in Season 1 on Lothal. So if you take a look at this ship seen on Lothal. The E-wing. X-wing, of course, being the one that makes an X. This one doesn't really look like an E, but regardless, this is the E-wing seen in Ahsoka Season 1, so it makes sense that it also be in Ahsoka Season 2. But this also does confirm that we might be going back to Lothal. The E-wings could be on other planets, true. But this could mean that we're going back to Lothal. Now, this image, Star Destroyer or some sort of ship, TIE fighters, is Thrawn going back to Lothal? Or is this a flashback to the Battle of Lothal from the end of Rebels? Either way, Going back to that planet is going to be really, really cool. I'm sure Ezra goes back home, but what would Thrawn need Lothal for? Maybe the facility that was already there, the factory that he was making the TIE Defenders? Maybe. We assume that he's going to go take At-Aten because of the Old Republic Mint. We assume that he's going to go take probably Wayland because of Mount Tantus. But why Lothal? And actually, let's bring up Star Wars Galaxy map. Let's see how far Lothal is from Dathomir. Shall we? Now that we got this awesome, cool map, why don't we? Where is Lothal? This might not be the best way to do this. Let's look at the, this. A, B, C. Okay. Oh my God. Is that still B? I gotta zoom in here. We're still on the letter B on page 6. Letter D on page 14. Oh my God. How many planets are there? All right, here we go, Al. Lothal. Lothal. Boom. Right there. Lothal is in the Outer Rim regions. U7. All right, here we go. U7. Zoom out. U7. All the way over here. Okay. So Dathomir is over here on the left, where the cursor is, right there. And Lothal is all the way over here. In the middle of nowhere. Right there. So why Thrawn would go back to Lothal, I don't know. I haven't a clue. He's all the way over here on Dathomir. That's why we think he's going to take At-Aten and probably Wayland too. This is where Mount Tantus is. Mandalore's right there. All these planets are very close. And Lothal's all the way over here. So this could just be an E-Wing on a different planet. Could be. Could be. But there's some sort of fight going on here versus a TIE fighter. Maybe a Star Destroyer of some sort right there. In any way, in any circumstance, it's still very cool to get a leaked image from Ahsoka Season 2. Like that's perfectly fine enough for me, you know? That made my day. Yeah. Is Lothal being attacked? I don't know. Like, it could be Lothal, but it could also not be Lothal. Yeah. It's Dathomir? Where are you getting that from? Where are you getting that? We know that Dathomir will be in it. Yeah. There's the mines on Lothal, true. Didn't the credits for Ahsoka have a map? Was Lothal on the map? Oh, I do remember that map. That was weird. I don't know if it really meant anything, though. Yeah, Celebration did show Dathomir in Season 2, but that doesn't mean that this planet right here that we're looking at is Dathomir. Yeah. I mean, Justin hits the nail on the head. Dathomir in live action, Mortis Gods explained in live action, and more Thrawn, sign me up. And that's just the premise of Ahsoka Season 2. Like, that's not even what we're going to get into. Baylan Skoll, Shin Hati, hopefully Abeloth. Like, those are some crazy, crazy things. Yeah. What if Jod Nanawood joins the New Republic to help the kids, maybe? Or help with the kids? And we see them in the Thrawn movie or whatever they're trying to help defend At-Aten. I don't think Jod is going to be a good guy right away. I think eventually he'll come to the good side, but I think he'll actually work with Grand Admiral Thrawn before he helps out with the New Republic. It's going to be a big battle on Dathomir. True, but this doesn't look like it could be. I mean, it could be a big battle, but this might just be a small battle. Like, it could just be. If he attacks Lothal, then it would be pretty obvious that Thrawn is back. And for Hera, they could explain that. But why would he need to attack Lothal? That's sort of what I'm thinking. I don't know. And E-Wings could be anywhere. Like, that, we're just saying that they're on Lothal because they are in Season 1, but they could be anywhere. They don't have to be on Lothal. So, either way, We know there's going to be a war in our Star Wars in Ahsoka Season 2, and this just has me even more hyped for it. Pretty much it. It's a leaked image from Ahsoka Season 2. Doesn't give us too much information because they love to keep their secrets over there. But it looks pretty great. The planet looks like Adalon. Adalon? Why does that sound so familiar? Hang on. Star Wars planet Adalon. Adalon, a remote world of rock. Oh, I mean, again, from this image, you can't really tell if it looks like that. But you're talking about the one with the Bendu? Now that would be pretty crazy. That would be pretty wild if the Bendu was in this. Thrawn talks to the Bendu on this planet, which is pretty cool. Oh, that'd be awesome. It would be really cool to get this planet back, and especially in live action, get the Bendu in live action, but I don't see that happening. I don't see the reason for that to happen, I guess I should say. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they would go back there. That's the idea. All these speculations make you go crazy sometimes. What? No. I was so calm today. What are you guys talking about? This is like one of the most calm streams of all time. Okay, let me end this poll. Still, 56% of you think he'll show up most likely in Maul, but 33% say Ahsoka Season 2, and only 10% say Mandalorian and Grogu. There you have it. There you have it, chat. Okay, but I do have to get on out of here. We did hit almost everything I wanted to hit today, which is pretty damn great. Oh, big news. No stream Saturday, sadly. Next week, what's today's date? The 11th? So next, well, Tuesday maybe? Next Tuesday is me and Sam's 7-year anniversary. And this weekend we're going away. So no stream on Saturday. No stream on Saturday. But as per usual, we got shorts coming out and polls and all that. Plenty of content still for the weekend, just no stream. So if you want to keep the conversation going, you want to keep having fun, go keep it going in the Discord, and we'll celebrate. We'll of course celebrate our anniversary. I'm not married. But we'll celebrate that anniversary on Tuesday, okay? It's not yet Tuesday. Maybe we'll get her on the live stream. Actually, no, we can't. She'll be at work. Whatever. We'll figure it out. But until then, smash a freaking like on the stream if you have not already. Hit that subscribe, hit that bell, you know the deal. Join the Discord. And become a member because that's always fun, as per usual. But until then, wait, we got a new member this live stream? What? Chat. What's going on here? Did I miss something? Chat? Thank you to huge shout out to Darth Plagueis Lives and Ron for the very generous super chats. It claims that we got a new member this live stream, but I do not see it, so I apologize. Mike did not get married. No, we did not. But until next time, may the Force be with you. Always. Oh, yeah. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate you all so much more than you'll ever know. This was, quite the live stream, if I do say so myself. We talked about quite a bit, and I feel like you guys just really wanted Din Djarin dead today. I don't know why. It was really weird. I think you guys got to go, figure that out. I don't know what's up with that. Din Djarin's going to live a happy life, and forever, of course, because that's how things happen in Star Wars. Nobody ever dies, except for everybody ever. But you guys got to get that figure that out on your own. Din Djarin, he's going to be in the movie. Like, what are you guys talking about? You guys are crazy. I don't know what's wrong with you. You guys go figure that out. But until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your lives, and good night, everybody.